Hi, and welcome to EDU 605. I'm your host, Bob Solier, and this is your very first video of the 2012 spring semester. Hopefully, if you take some time to watch this entire video introduction, it'll give you a good foundation of what the course is about, but probably just importantly, give you a sampling of who I am as an individual. That way you have a voice through which to interpret every email that I send, every announcement that I make, every assignment that I give. Without question, I want you to know up front that I am a complete and utter goofball. Um, I have a very quick wit, a very broad sense of humor, and I don't take things too seriously. Life is too short, and education is too hard, and the students that we reach are too important to worry about a lot of the stuff that sometimes we worry about. So hopefully this will be one of the most challenging courses you have, but also one of the most fun and one of the most stress-free. So speaking of the course, I wanted to give you an overview today of what you can expect from this course and kind of what we're about. So this course is actually broken down into a number of sections, and each one of those sections, we call learning modules, which again is, I'm sure, a cutting-edge, breaking piece of educational pedagogy for you. So we're going to start by exploring the notion of online technologies, to identify some online technologies that we can use in our classroom, that we can use in our personal life, that we can use in our professional life, and then identify assistive technologies that will also provide similar services for our students with exceptional needs. After that, we're going to explore a whole series about software and softwares that we can identify again for the same types of purposes. From there, we're going to go ahead and progress into hardware issues. We're going to talk about digital medias and then focus entirely on this section about assistive technologies. We're going to take a very kind of paced approach to the way this works. Our courses, if you've taken a look at the syllabus at all, is very large, and we have a lot of stuff to cover, and that can be very overwhelming to students, especially students who are intimidated or apprehensive about technology to begin with. So what I actually do is I roll these out very slowly. So rather than you being overwhelmed with seeing all 8 modules that we have in this course and all the content and all the reading and all the assignments, all the stuff that you're supposed to do, and have that just kind of staring you in the face every single time you log in, I roll out these modules every 2 weeks so that you can have a much slower pace. There's something to do in this course, even though it's online, every single week. Just as if you were to take a 3-hour credit course in person, there are certain expectations of the amount of work that you'll do. So this isn't the kind of course that you can check in once every couple weeks and just kind of touch base. This is really going to be a course that probably every other day you're going to be logging in and participating, which is kind of really the effect that I'm going for. Each one of our modules will start out with a similar video introduction to this. My videos are created that day that I roll them out. I do that for a number of reasons. One, it makes sure that I am constantly examining the content that we have in that module before I release it, as opposed to, oh yeah, I just recycled this from last year and the year before and the year before that. I want you to know that I am actively, even though I'm not in a classroom standing in front of you or working with you or alongside of you, that I'm actively engaged in this content with you. And so each one of these video introductions will be created that day so that I can address issues that have arisen in the class, that we can discuss things further, or that we can make changes. We can bring in real life events. How are the Republican primaries, in technology? How does that relate to us in education? How do the latest announcements that came out at the CES, the new iDevice that gets announced in March or April? How do all these things kind of play and impact us in real time? And so each module will start with one of these videos. They're going to ramble on, but there'll be some very important content hopefully that you'll find in there. From there, you'll kind of be able to break into the actual content itself. Each one of the modules are based upon readings inside your course textbook, which is a new book. I apologize because my images in the course use the old course image. That's because you can't find the image of this course text anywhere. So if you have this textbook and it looks like this, boop, you're the right one. Aside from getting it from the bookstore, you can also find it online at other places. You can certainly find it in a digital format from Kindle. I'm currently working with Course Technology right now to give you an exclusive free access to all their online materials. Since this book was just published in November and the online materials weren't ready to go the very first day of this course, they're going to give us the opportunity to go and to use those for free once they are available. So you'll be able to use online supplemental materials with this book as well, hopefully for free, so that'll be cool. Um, we also have a interactive discussion boards, in which case we'll be discussing topics that relate not only to the content presented in the module and in the chapters, but also kind of what's going on in real life. And so it's very important that you be engaged in those things as well. Every 2 weeks, you're going to be blogging. The question I get asked every single time I discuss blogging online is, well, what are my entries supposed to be about? What's my content? And as I mentioned in our module material, I'm indifferent as to what you write about it. I primarily want you to write. One of the downsides of having an online course is that we often lose that interaction between one another. There's no sense of personal connection. And so by giving us the opportunity to read what each other has written, it kind of gives us that sense of who that person is, so that when I'm discussing a topic with you in the discussion boards, I remember that you just lost your cat, and I'm really sorry about that. So perhaps I'm gonna interact with you differently. Or you know what, I remember that you wrote last week that you were frustrated about work, and there's something going on with one of your administrators or coworkers, and so that blog is really that personal venue for us to be able to connect with one another. So write about what's important to you. Even if it's silly stuff. This is what I did today, or this is what I'm frustrated about, or this is what I was thinking, or hey, we're planning a family vacation to this, and this is where we're going. Just make it personal. Make it about you, because that's going to be one of the primary ways that we get to see you as a person and connect with you in this course. So write about what you want to write about every 2 weeks, but most importantly, write about it. And then at the end of that week, you'll be actually engaging in other people's blogs and kind of commenting and responding and making sure that you're reading to them. So we've got the readings, we've got the discussion boards, we've got the blogs. One of the other things that we're going to do with each module is this idea of an article review. In each module, you'll have 2 articles that you have to seek out and write a professional summary and review for, and share that with the rest of your classmates. Why do we do this thing? The first time that I introduced this to a course, one of my students commented, it just felt like busy work. And in our conversation to follow up, I explained to them that the reason why I do this is because when you leave this course, you're still going to need to be able to plug into technology, because technology is going to continue to change and evolve every single day, and it's only going to get worse. If I have you leave this course and all I've done is shown you 3 pieces of technology, very specific from a specific vendor or a specific brand, and I taught you how to use a Promethean board, or I taught you how to use just YouTube, then I've done you a great disservice. What I want to do is teach you how to go out and find where technology is coming from, to find out what's evolving, and how it's being used. And so these article reviews do a number of things. One, they expose you to the scholarly work of going out and researching. It provides you the opportunity to think through content and to figure out how it applies to you in the workplace. But more importantly, it plugs you into news sources as it relates to education and technology. And even though technology is going to change, the Chronicle is going to be there. Even though this may change, this website is still going to offer content about these things that are coming out. So yes, in some sense, it might feel like busy work, but the real goal of this is that you start to find resources that you can go to time and time again after you leave this class to continue your own growth and development. So we'll be doing 2 of those articles every single module. The first one will be about the general topic. So, the first learning module we have after this is about online technology. So you'll go out, you'll find an article that deals with an online technology. You'll read it, you'll share us, give us a summary, and then you'll tell us what you thought of it. And then the second article, you'll be going and finding out an online technology that specifically relates to assistive technology. Because since special needs are such an important topic for us, and it's something that drives us as a passion, we want to make sure that we're not neglecting that. And so every single article you're going to find, you'll find one that's just a generic technology, and then one that relates specifically to assistive technology. So we'll be doing that. Each learning block, so we're getting all this content, we're having all these discussions, we're reading all this stuff, we're learning all these things. So what kind of do we do with all this information? At the end of each module, you're going to be creating a lesson plan. And that lesson plan will be your own, and it'll deal with the subject matter that you feel the most comfortable with. And you'll incorporate whatever that technology is that we've learned about in that block into a lesson plan of the subject matter and the age of your choosing. Why do I do this? It doesn't do you any good if you are planning on specializing in social studies or you want to be a physical education teacher or something else, and I make you write all these lesson plans about using Excel and math. Because when you leave this course, or you go back to the jobs that you're doing now, all that doesn't do you any good. So I want you to be able to create a lesson plan that relates to the age group that you choose and the subject matter that you choose, so that you can get in the practice and habit of incorporating technology into the type of environment that you see yourself or would like to see yourself in. Those lesson plans will use the standard USF lesson plan template that we have. So you'll download that, you'll fill out all the stuff that you've kind of been used to. And then along with that, you're going to include a technology. So I'm teaching history and I want to use Twistery, which is a history-based Twitter site in this course, and this is how I'm going to incorporate it, and this is my lesson plan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you're also going to then in turn on include a rubric with that you're going to use to evaluate your technology. Why do I have you do that? Technology is a great tool, but that's all it is. It's just simply a tool. But you'll never know if that tool worked for your course content unless you evaluate it. So not only is my goal to get you to incorporate technology into education, but it's to make sure that you are continually assessing that technology to ensure whether or not that's an effective use or that it actually meets your goals and objectives for that particular lesson plan. You're also going to include a technology backup plan. What is that? Even though we'll have very clear written instructions about this, just a simple reminder, that's what happens when it doesn't work. Technology, like I said, is wonderful, but let's be honest. If technology worked all the time when it was supposed to, then we'd live in a completely different world. Technology fails. Technology breaks down. So what do? Do you just not teach your lesson? Well, that's not very good education, is it? So what I want you to do is I want you to be thinking that even though this is the technology I want to use and I think it's going to enhance my lesson plan or my content, what do I do if it doesn't work? So rather than you standing in front of a classroom going, you've already thought through what happens if this doesn't work. We'll give you more details about that, but I just want you to be thinking about those things as well. All those good things. In this class also, I want you to keep in mind that we use Twitter. Twitter is nothing that you're going to be graded on other than the fact that you're using it. Why Twitter? Most of you, I'm sure, have a Facebook account. It's something that you feel comfortable with and that you don't have any issues with, whereas Twitter might be something that you have no familiarity with, and it's something that's foreign to you. Twitter is a wonderful tool for global instant communication. So let me just say it again, and I've written it down for you in your module as well. It's global instant communication. While there are not a lot of primary uses for it in the K through 12 system, though there are a number of educators who are using Twitter in their classroom at the K through 12 level, it's really an important tool for you to be able to connect with colleagues, people who are in the same profession, field, subject matter that you are from around the world. It's something that I use at conferences all the time, and it's a way that I stay connected in a very professional way. It's, like I said, it's global instant messaging for very specific topics. So we're going to certainly introduce you to this form of communication as well, and hopefully it'll be something that you enjoy as well. But again, no stress because there's not a grade. I simply want you to use it and try it out, and I provide opportunities for you each and every week to tweet. Keep in mind, we have deadlines for a reason. There are lots of due dates, and all those are listed in your syllabus. They're listed at the beginning of each and every single course module. They're all over the place. Make sure that you are being mindful of them. In the event that real life sneaks up, which is what happens, whether you're in a face-to-face course or an online course, real life happens. So when it happens, let me know, and then we're able to make accommodations for whatever situation may arise in your life. But if I don't know about it in advance or as it happens, it makes it real difficult to be accommodating for those deadlines. So keep those things in mind. I'm a very accessible person. I'm very connected. You can find me obviously on Twitter. You can find me online. You can send me with an email. I am connected via all sorts of wonderful mobile devices. Whether it's my phone, my iPad, the laptop that I'm using, this computer over here, I'm always got something in my hand that I can be connected with. So feel free to go ahead and communicate in whatever fashion that feels most comfortable to you. and just be consistent. If you're going to email, it's always best if you use your USF email account for a number of reasons. One, that's where all your Blackboard announcements are going to go, but it also doesn't get lost in my filter. Sometimes those Hotmail, AOL type accounts, they just get lost. So if you're going to talk to me through email, make sure that you use it. If you're going to tweet, again, just use the hashtag to make sure that I can find that. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to call me, let me know. You've got my office phone number that's in there. Something else to keep in mind: I'm an actual USF employee. I'm not a normal faculty member. I'm the director of distance instruction and educational technologies. So I have a real day job. So keep that in mind. I'd love to have you drop by, but it's always easier if you schedule an appointment because a lot of other people have already scheduled appointments, and I want to make sure that your needs are being met. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm excited about this class, and hopefully you'll have a good time. And reach out and say hello. Right beneath this video right here, all the stuff that's done underneath it here, just start right in. You're going to have a how technologically awesome am I survey to give me an idea of kind of what your expectations are for this course. We're going to get you set up with a WordPress.com account this week so that you can start blogging, and you're going to send me the URL for that once you've created that. We're going to get you started with a Twitter account. We've explained some kind of detailed stuff about what Twitter is and how you get that account started, and then that's it. Next Monday, we'll roll out another video in Learning Block, which will technically be Learning Block 2, I guess. Online technologies will be open for business, and we'll start right there with that. I look forward to a great spring semester, and see you guys online.